It is so sad to see so many people feel trapped. They feel like prisoners of their own life when we live in a society that's never been more safe, that's never granted us more freedoms than right now. But you see, they don't understand that freedom is not something that you have. It's not something that you are, but it is something that you do. Understand that to have freedom and do nothing with it is worse than not having any freedom at all. That's the point that they don't understand. It is that they have to take advantage of all of these things, to take a risk, to take a chance on themselves, to fail, to start over. Most people are just doing what they are supposed to be doing. They never had any decisions, any real consequences for their actions. They've never taken a free decision on their life. They've never done anything that's outside of the norm. They haven't done absolutely anything to prove to the world that they have agency. Most people are a product of the society that they live in, a product of their environment, a product of their peers and everybody else around them. They have no real individuality, but they think they are free, and that's the crux of the situation. They are in a cage, but they never try the door. They never rattle the cage to see if it falls apart. That's the point. You have to give yourself freedoms to see where the boundaries are. Understand that that's how you find out where your freedoms are and how far you can take things. Of course, within the confines of the law, but you have to really try every single thing and see if you want to do something, see if it is an option for you. Because most often than not, what's stopping you, it's just you. There is no roadblocks in front of you. You're just imagining things. And most people just think they are free when they do nothing with their freedoms. The only way that they express their freedoms, that they take advantage of this beautiful world that we have never seen before. There has never been a point in history where we had access to more technology, to more knowledge, to more things to do than we have right now. The society was never safer than right now, and yet everybody does exactly what they would be doing if it was 200, 300 years ago. Understand the only way that they're actually doing something different, it's just in their consumption. Because someone told them that, look, you should be doing this. Look, you should be doing that. They're just mimicking everybody else around them. They have no individuality. They have no real ideas in their head. They do not express any freedom. They just do what they are told every single day in and day out. And they do not understand that this is it. This is it. There is nothing more. Understand, out of the myriad of freedoms that you have, you choose to just do exactly what everybody else is doing. Understand that that is absolutely brain dead. If you're doing exactly what everybody else is doing, expect nothing than mediocre results. Expect nothing than a mediocre life, a mediocre job. Everything is behind giving yourself more freedom. And you don't. Nobody does. The norm is just to be brain dead, just to not do anything. Whenever they scream freedom, 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 they're not doing anything than chanting with everybody else and doing the work of someone who invited them there. They do not understand that that is not an expression of freedom. To actually achieve freedom. You have to take advantage individually of all the freedoms that you can to see how far you can push the envelope, to see how far you can take it, to actually look at the world and say, okay, what are my options? What can I do? And try to find, okay, I'm looking at all these options. I don't like any of them. And then what's the higher chance of opening more opportunities for me in the future? What's the one thing that can open more freedoms for me? Start doing that. And then more options will be put in front of you. Don't worry about the risk. Don't worry about the downside. Understand that 90% of people are doing things that literally have no downside. Literally no downside. And this will be true forever. Understand that most people are not really capable of doing anything that has a downside. Absolutely nothing. And surely you will have a hard time finding something to do that you actually want to do that has a downside. Most of the things that you want to do literally have no downside. Of course, you're going to say, but what about my time? I'm going to waste my time. Sure, that's a downside. But what's better? Taking a chance, betting on yourself, or just watching Netflix, or going on another vacation, or going to work, or doing all of these things? What's worse? Everything that you already know, and you know that it doesn't fulfill you, and you know that's boring, you know that's mediocre, or doing something that has a chance of getting you somewhere new. Understand that life is meant to be an adventure. Life is meant to feel like you're not knowing what you are doing. You're not understanding until you do. And once you do, you're gonna still chase the things that you actually don't know how to do. That's the point. But most people are not doing this. Most people are just sleepwalking every single day, rinse and repeat. They're just drones. They have no real agency because they don't understand that freedom is not something that you have. It is not something that you get. It is something that you do. You might feel free, but if you're not doing anything with that freedom, it's as if you didn't have it. Understand that if you had all of the freedom in the world, but you chose to stay in a cage, that's what most people are doing. They're just sitting on autopilot in their own head as a drone. They're not doing anything interesting, anything adventurous, anything risky. They're not taking a chance on themselves. They're not doing anything. They're just droning around on autopilot. They are sleepwalking. Even sleepwalkers are better, more interesting people because you do not know what they're going to do. They're unpredictable. You do not know what they're going to say. You do not know. They're funny. Whatever it is. When you have a sleepwalker in the house, you don't know what's going to happen. Your life is absolutely interesting. So understand that that's what life is about. Doing interesting things with your freedom. Don't just accept everything that everybody else is telling you that you should be doing. That's just your programming. That's just the program that runs your life. You have to grant yourself all of these freedoms and do something with them to actually feel like you are free, because it is not something that you are or something that you get or something that you have. It is always something that you do that grants you that freedom. Do things, rattle the cage in whatever way possible so that you test to see if the bars can be pried, if the door is open, if there is no cage at all. Understand that most people are not doing this. They're just look around you. They're all goody two shoes doing absolutely nothing interesting, absolutely nothing interesting with their life. They're doing exactly what their coworkers are doing. They're doing exactly what their neighbors are doing. They're doing exactly what everybody else in their family is doing. Understand that that is 99.9% of people. So you should be different. You should take advantage of all of your freedoms. Take advantage of all of the technologies of the modern world. Take advantage of all of the amenities and the safety nets that we have in society right now. You're not doing that because you fear judgment, you fear failure, you fear loss. Understand that most of these things are irrelevant. They do not affect you one bit. Most of the things that you will end up doing by the end of your life will not have any bad consequence. Most of the things, if you have a modicum of logic in your brain, if you have a modicum of self-respect, you will never do things that harm you intentionally. Sure, some things might be riskier than others, but the downside will be minimal. And understand that when it's the judgment of others, when it's just annoying a few people, when it's just being a bit louder, when it's just doing something that's weird, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. The downside is so small, and yet you will feel happier, more fulfilled, more free. You will have an interesting life to live. That's the price, and you give it away for judgment. You give it away for fear. You give it away for all of these things. You just do not want to be free. That's what I think. I think that most people don't even know what to do with their freedom. They don't even know. If you give them total freedom and a lot of money, they didn't have to do anything anymore, they wouldn't know what to do. For at least 2 or 3 years, they would just be droned out. They wouldn't know what to do with their freedoms. That's most people. 99.9% of people wouldn't actually know what to do with their freedoms for 2 to 3 years if they had more money that they can think about. They wouldn't know what to do. They would just start consuming. And we see this with lottery winners. They don't actually know what to do with it. They just spend it on everything, and they don't have any purpose or any direction in life. They do not know what to do. And that's the point. You have to take advantage of your freedom right now. Take advantage of technology, take advantage of the safety nets that society has built for you. And understand that this is only once. You do not have a do-over. We do not have a reset button. This is it. If you're not doing it right now, you're never gonna do it.